On Saturday the 30th of August, Huddersfield station closed for 30 days, meaning that no trains could pass through the main Transpennine route between Manchester and Leeds. There's never a convenient time to close a key rail route for a whole month, but the work being carried out will play a big part in the large-scale remodelling of Huddersfield station and the four-tracking to Dewsbury, which is being undertaken as part of the Transpennine Route Upgrade. Due to the importance of Huddersfield Station, the TRU West Alliance has been preparing for this closure for months. In all, the Alliance has invested £100 million prior to the closure to ensure that passengers are kept moving. A lot of work will have taken place in the background, such as working with train operating companies to identify which services can be diverted and which will have to terminate at alternative stations. The Alliance has, however, undertaken upgrades elsewhere on the network in order to increase capacity at a station which will be used as a main transfer point. One of the most visible interventions has been the upgrade of Brighouse station, which is on the Calder Valley line. This station will be used as the transfer point for passengers wishing to travel to Huddersfield, Deaton and Mirfield, with rail replacement buses in operation from Brighouse. Platform 2 has been widened so that it can handle the increased number of passengers, and the car park has been adjusted to improve the pick-up and drop-off facilities, and so that it can handle the replacement buses that will be in operation. Signage, platform and access ramp markings have also been improved so that people can find their way to the relevant areas more easily. A toilet has also been installed close to Platform 1. The improvements will undoubtedly aid people in the short term, but the improvements, such as the additional shelter, will improve Brighouse in the long term for regular passengers. Other work has been carried out to increase capacity on the Calder Valley line so that more trains can operate. I'm not certain of the full timetable that will operate, but TPE services such as Liverpool to Newcastle and the Manchester to Scarborough service will be diverted via and stop at Brighouse. Northern services will be altered or diverted during the closure. So as always, if you're travelling during the blockade, then do check before you travel. The closure of such a key route will of course be frustrating for passengers, but longer blockades such as this will allow the Alliance to undertake more work and could be carried out during shorter or overnight closures. And given the scale of the work that will be carried out, it's difficult to see how this could be undertaken during shorter closures. So, what's happening at Huddersfield? As I explained in my previous TRU videos, Huddersfield will be upgraded to provide additional through platforms and to increase the length of the platforms in order to accommodate longer trains. There'll be links to those videos in the description below if you haven't watched those yet. What this means is the track approaching the station will have to be remodelled so that the trains can use the new platforms and the new fast line tracks that will be installed between Huddersfield and Dewsbury once the upgrade is complete. During the closure, Platform 2 will be lengthened to the east to accommodate longer trains, and Platform 1 will also be remodelled. In order to increase the number of tracks across Huddersfield Viaduct, the Alliance will also be replacing spans on the viaduct heading east from the station during the blockade. Regular travellers through Huddersfield may have spotted a number of cranes which have been assembled next to the station. I've been reliably informed that the largest of those cranes has a lift capacity of 1,250 tonnes and is only one of two operating in Europe. The huge crane will be used to lift a replacement span over John William Street. Other work that will take place during the closure includes the removal of a relay room, and a cable bridge will be demolished. Track and signalling will also be upgraded. In addition, the canopies above platforms 5, 6 and 8 will be removed. The Alliance will also be taking the opportunity to carry out upgrades between Stalybridge and Huddersfield. Although a great deal of work will take place during the closure, the station upgrade will not be fully completed until 2027. And when the station does reopen at the end of September, there will only be 3 platforms available, and the 2 east-facing bay platforms, numbers 5 and 6, will be closed. Therefore, the platform layout will be significantly different. An info sheet has been published advising passengers about what to expect when the station reopens. I'll leave a link to that sheet in the description. The closure of the bay platforms means that there'll be no direct services from Huddersfield to Bradford until 2027, and passengers will instead have to change at Mirfield or use a rail replacement bus service. Once complete, the remodelled station will have 6 fully accessible platforms, with longer through platforms that will be able to accommodate 200-metre long trains. The Penistone Bay platform will also be located closer to the main entrance. The work to install 2 new fast lines from Huddersfield to Dewsbury will also impact intermediate stations on the route. This means that Deaton will remain closed after the blockade and won't reopen until 2027. This will allow the Alliance to upgrade the station with longer platforms, install lifts and a new pedestrian overbridge. A new station forecourt will also be constructed during the closure. Work will also continue on the rebuild of Whittaker Street, which will be replaced to make way for the new fast lines and provide room for the overhead line equipment so the line can be electrified. The road bridge by now will be closed to pedestrians and isn't expected to reopen until July 2026. With so much happening at once, it's become difficult to keep up with progress. But the most significant development recently has been the introduction of electric passenger services between Colton Junction and Church Fenton, after the completion of testing of the wires which were energised last year. This now means around 25% of the route covered by the TRU is now electrified. Over the past 12 months, the amount of work taking place really has started to intensify, and the scale of the upgrade, I think, has now become apparent. A number of new structures are also starting to take shape right across the network. I just wish I had more time to cover everything that's going on, but rest assured I'll do my best to cover the bigger milestones, and I'm certain this won't be the last time I cover TRU this year. I'd also like to take a look at the Hill House depot at some point, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any updates. And just before I go, can I please ask, if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, that you give the video a like, as it helps my content to get noticed.